Stories in today's video. 1. Update to nightmare situation. Me, 35F, with partner, 40M, my son and his nephew, 15 megaseconds. 2. Update, I, 29F, am unsure on how to put the moves on my husband, 32M. 3. Update, my best friend, 22F, is giving up a full ride scholarship to be with her boyfriend of 3 months. Original post. Hi again everyone. I posted about my family problem about a month ago and was bowled over by the amount of kind and extremely helpful comments I got. Someone requested an update, so I'm posting now to tell you what's happened since. To be honest, it's also to unburden myself. The boys are really sweet, but I obviously can't talk to them about these things, and there aren't a lot of people in my life I feel comfortable sharing all the details with. I suppose I'm *SSED. The week after my original post, I met with a family lawyer I know to go over options. I actually wrote down the legal suggestions posted here to discuss with her, but unfortunately, after going over each and several others in detail, we had to conclude that for each one, while it might technically be feasible, it would either take too long to be practical, or require things from Bob or from Ben which for various reasons were not ideal. Following the meeting, I was mulling things over and decided to take a long hard look at our finances to see what might be affordable as a compromise, such as perhaps sending Ben to a good boarding school and pay tuition up front, so that if I then left Bob it would be easier and cheaper for him to leave Ben there rather than move him to a different school. Anyway, I went over our financial records with a fine-toothed comb, and that's when I discovered Bob was cheating on me, and had been for the entirety of our relationship. It turns out that prior to Ben's parents' death, Bob had been about to move in with another woman. This woman didn't want kids, so when Bob was suddenly faced with taking custody of Ben or seeing him placed in foster care, she made it clear she would not be involved. For the record, I can't say I blame her. I love my boys with all my heart, but asking someone who never wanted kids to parent a bereaved 11-year-old she has never met is not in anyone's best interests in my opinion. When I confronted him about the affair, he didn't even attempt to deny it. He seemed ashamed, good, and just asked what happened next, so I told him that next he was going to get his stuff and get out of my house, but first ask Ben if he wants to go or stay, because it wouldn't be fair to disrupt the poor kid's life any further. Ben quickly said he preferred to stay, and Bob seemed frankly relieved. He moved out that weekend and I haven't seen him since. We've been in touch by text to discuss financial arrangements, though, and last week he sent me money to cover Ben's basic expenses, nothing like as much as child support, but under the circumstances I'll take it and be glad. From his attitude I take it that he's seeing this as a long-term thing, but even he doesn't. According to the family lawyer, he's leaving Ben with me even for a while, along with Ben's age and the fact that Bob is his guardian rather than his father, would make it easier to build a case for Ben to stay even if Bob does try to fight it. The lawyer is confident that such a battle could be won, or at least dragged out till Ben is 18 and it doesn't matter anymore. So that, as you can imagine, has been an enormous relief. That makes it that much harder to admit that finding out about Bob has still hit me hard. The fact is that even though I was absolutely done with him and wanted him out, there was a time I truly believed he wanted to be with me and that we could build a life together. I knew our relationship wasn't a romance for the ages or anything like that, but it was by far the best I'd had since before my son was born, and I really thought we cared for and valued one another. Now I realize that all he ever wanted from me was a mother for Ben. He as good as admitted it, and in retrospect it makes complete sense. That's why he never wanted to get married or buy into my house even though I offered, though now of course I am grateful. Because he wanted to make it as easy as possible to split from me once Ben was old enough to no longer require my services. I think it might even explain why he was so hard on Ben and grasping at straws for a reason to send him away. I never expected it of him based on what else I knew, or I never would have been with him, but if he was blaming Ben for getting in the way of his life and simultaneously feeling guilty for, that could turn a mild-mannered person mean, I think. Maybe he even thought if Ben was away most of the time the other woman would be willing to compromise for a few years. I don't know. I've even been wondering whether he decided to pursue me before we'd even met. The boys met first through an extracurricular where they became friends. It's possible that Jason mentioned my being single in *SSING, allowing Bob to identify me as potentially suitable before we ever met. I'm sorry this is such a mopey post. I truly am grateful for the way things worked out. I think it's the best possible solution for everyone under the circumstances, and not one I could have achieved without Bob's help. And the boys have been wonderful. They didn't know I was trying to get Bob out anyway, so they've been treating me very gently, or as gently as you can expect teenage boys to be, anyway, and trying to pretend they aren't thrilled Bob is gone when I'm in the room. I'm glad of that, to be honest. I am so grateful he's gone and Ben is still safe here with us. I just need a bit of time to really remember it, I think. TLDR, it turns out Bob has been cheating on me most likely for the entire duration of our relationship. Chip. 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 Original TLDR of last post, due to coming off some long-term medication, I have AS*X drive for the first time in about 10 years. Realized I have no idea how to hit on my husband or initiate in general. My last post didn't get a ton of attention, but I thought I would update people anyways. I took most everyone's advice and talked to my husband. He thought the whole situation was hilarious, in a nice way. But he was very reassuring. I told him about my fears of rejection, or doing something wrong. How my body issues have made it difficult to initiate because I fear I won't be able to turn him on. He gave me some ideas on how I might come onto him, what subtle moves might work to help initiate. He also reassured me that unless something major was going or he was sick, he would pretty much always reciprocate. He soothed my body fears and told me he finds me very attractive and I shouldn't worry about that. You guys, this has been life-changing. Talking with my husband completely alleviated my fears. After a couple of false starts, I was able to start initiating. And it's been going great. We're both all over each other all the time, just like we were high schoolers again. Maybe even better. Thank you so much everyone for convincing me to just talk to my husband. TLDR, talk to my husband. Things worked out perfectly. Just found this throwaway account and thought I should give an update. My friend and I are now 25, and we're still close. She did transfer schools and lose her scholarship. She also graduated late because of the transfer. In all, it cost her more than $30,000 in student loans, which she regrets. Things did not work out between her and her boyfriend. He really wanted to live a party boy lifestyle with her at home to cook and clean up after him. They broke up 1 year after she transferred. But she still had a semester left, which was really difficult and lonely because she had no friends aside from him and his social circle. After graduation, she got a job as a teacher in her hometown. So she does have a way to pay back the loans. She's pretty happy. She's now engaged to a different guy she started dating approximately 2 years ago. They got together right after she moved home. Yes, it's fast, but they live together with no issues. They aren't going to start planning a wedding until COVID eases up. She's less gullible now and more skeptical of her mum's advice. Her experience really opened her eyes to the consequences of her choices. TLDR, my friend learned an expensive lesson, but her life turned out okay. She ended up where she probably would have if she didn't transfer, but $30,000 in a hole. Oh.